Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2. You are watching StarLadder Star Series. We are of course still in Season 8 and we're nearing the end of the group stages. This is day 22 of a total of 30 days of group stages. And I mean, this is gonna be like all games from now on between all the teams that are still in that top 8-ish. Those are going to be very important. Let's take a look at who those teams actually are, because of course the scores so far for Na'Vi and Fnatic, the teams that we're going to see right now, sitting very even, number 6 and number 7. Now, let's for a second just ignore the wins that we see, ignore the rank that they have. All that matters right now is the max amount of points that a team still can get. And that means that we look at the max amount of losses that people have, or the amount of losses that they have. They have now Fnatic, as well as Rox, Kiss, and Sigma all have 3 losses. That means that they have the maximum point potential. That means that if they don't lose any more games, they will be in the top 3. Guaranteed, no questions asked. Though the one thing, of course, that is kind of important to note is that, for example, Fnatic and Sigma still have to face each other. AKA, one of those two is gonna have 3 losses, or maybe more, depending on other games, of course. Of course, also one thing to look at is the amount of losses one can have, like maximum amount of losses, if you still want to make it to the top 4. It's difficult because on average what we have seen in the past is about 4 losses, and as you can see, there's already quite a few teams that have 4 losses, or 3 still, that still have to face each other as well. But the thing is, it's gonna be coming down also to the fact, like, it's a head-to-head counter. So winning against the top teams, like for example Fnatic Na'Vi, even if Na'Vi now wins from Fnatic, Fnatic is still gonna have 3 wins, which is great, or 3 losses max, which is great. But if they don't lose anymore, they're still gonna not be higher on the rankings than Na'Vi, because Na'Vi actually won from them. So this is a very, very important match, especially considering, I mean, for Fnatic they kind of have to win because, as I said, head-to-head count is important. And for Na'Vi, if they lose this one, their chances of getting in the top 4 are very, very limited. And it is so important to make it to the top 4 because, of course, $120,000 prize pool and then some. Yeah. You don't want to miss that one. So, indeed, it is going to be an important match. We are going to see an IO banned out against Fnatic. They don't want to see that no-till IO. I don't blame them. Nor Trixie on the Elder Titan. They will have to deal with the Trixie Nature's Prophet, though, as the Fnatic does just pick that one up. Fnatic, they ban out a couple of heroes that Na'Vi has picked up a lot lately. Most importantly, Luna. Vost has been playing Luna almost the entire time. So Fnatic did their homework, realizing, you know what, let's not have that one. On the other side, they do give Funnick his Bristle back, and we have seen him play that one with very much success. They've also picked up the Enchantress, and that of course allows for a lot of early game aggression from Poppy, as well as, even if he's not aggressive with it, he can help Dendi win his middle lane, which is going to be also one of those more important things. Looks like Fnatic might be setting up for a puck, or at least setting up for a forced out ban on the puck, because a Templar Assassin now removed from the pool. Templar Assassin removed from the pool is saying, like, Templar Assassin is the counter towards the puck, and they might just want to make sure that they don't have to deal with that one. Na'Vi, though, they ban out the Slark, which was still in the pool. I'm kind of curious to see what kind of play Fnatic wants to go for. Now, a couple of heroes that we've seen picked up very early on lately and that are still in the pool are, of course, all those strong supports. Crystal Maiden, Venomance, they're still in the pool, would fit in either lineup. We've seen Na'Vi go for it, we've seen Fnatic go for it. Marana's still in the pool. Not as high prio pick in these two teams compared to what we've seen before, but still a very decent pick. We've seen Danny play mid before. Crystal Maiden still got banned out. And of course, a hero that we haven't seen at all today, completely ignored, the Pugna. Very situational pick, for sure, but definitely a strong one if he does fit in your lineup. All heroes that we have to keep in mind here, as Na'Vi is thinking about their last ban before picking up a hero. They have that luxury, banning out a hero and straight away pick up a different hero. They could select the puck for themselves, taking advantage of the fact that Fnatic has already banned out one of the counters against the puck. The risk, though, is that there is still an OD in the pool, which they could ban out, I guess. OD, of course, a hero in mid lane that Hani does play, and that basically does not lose mid. We do still have a Razor in the pool as well, And we have seen from Fnatic, this is of course Fnatic's 4th game that they played today. So we've seen a lot of Fnatic games already, and I'm gonna assume that Na'Vi did do a bit of research into those games. Now the main thing that I'm taking from Fnatic games that we've seen earlier on today is that their laning, despite which heroes they get, their laning is solid. They make sure that they anticipate what their enemies are putting on which lane, and even though they might be slightly outdrafted in terms of, having some counter picks against some heroes, they'll switch it up. They'll make sure that there's not going to be a hero up against another hero that is just a typical counter pick towards one another. So it's going to be, I'm going to be very interested to see how Fnatic deals with whatever Na'Vi picks up, because it is one of their tougher opponents, if not the toughest opponents that they are facing today. Na'Vi, I mean, they have 2 games. As said, they're also up against SSD, by the way, as coming back to the game about losses. Both SSD and Na'Vi are sitting on 3 losses, so the team that wins that one has got a very small chance to go to Kyiv as well. So even though if Na'Vi wins from this one, it will be still both teams with 3 losses, still fairly okay. But SSD or Na'Vi, one of those two is going to be almost kicked out. Like, it's not guaranteed by any means, but it's going to not rely on that specific team anymore. It's going to more rely on the results of the other teams. You never want to put your fate in the hands of other teams. You want to be able to have the control. That's why all these games are so important. That's also why it's such a shame that I wasn't able to get a co-caster anymore. As in, well, for people wondering, I did have a co-caster. G-Advance was supposed to join me for the entire day, but his internet collapsed and broke down and then didn't come back on. So unfortunately, we're doing without him right now, and all the people that I wrote to in the break in between games were not able to come or did not reply in time, or did not reply at all actually. So yeah, unfortunately that does happen. Vengeful Spirit. Now I love this pickup, because a Vengeful Spirit is like this. Vengeful Spirit Enchantress support combination is probably the most aggressive support combination that you can think of in terms of roaming potential. You've got a disable and a slow. An extra disable if Enchantress brings some extra creeps along. You've got a heal in case you have to dive towers. The counter initiation is not that strong if you are with an aggressive if you are wanting to aggress on a Vengeful Spirit or an Enchantress. Good luck with that, because as I said, the heal, maybe the untouchable, depending on what level Enchantress is already, of course. It's I really like it. Expect some smokes to be picked up. Although, one thing that I would very much like to see, like disregarding Vengeful Spirit as support, Havost has actually had as signature hero Vengeful Spirit carry. Yes, that is a thing. That is definitely a thing, and I wouldn't mind seeing that. I would like to also point out that both Bristleback and Vengeful Spirit have, of course, that minus armor potential. With the Wave of Terror, with the Nasal Goo, it is... I mean, it's not really that much, but it does stack up. Like, no, like it as in, if 2 heroes already have that minus armor, it's gonna be having a big impact on the game. Fnatic don't really know just yet what to do with that. They end up going for the Enigma, and we have seen Fnatic go for the Enigma earlier today, and Fly wasn't able to get that many big black holes, and it's very interesting to see an Enigma picked up into a Vengeful Spirit. Vengeful Spirit is considered to be the counter against an Enigma, because you can build a BKB, but it won't save you. Swap will go through BKB, and Swap will always interrupt Black Hole, and that is the job of a Vengeful Spirit. Sit behind your team, and in case the Black Hole comes, you swap. That is your entire duty, your entire job. Of course, it does mean that you are forcing Vengeful Spirit into that role. So if it is a carry Vengeful Spirit, obviously he's not going to be sitting behind there. He's going to be the prime target that Enigma wants to black hole. And if you are going to be having that Vengeful Spirit as a support, that just means that in a fight you're not going to have to deal that much with the magic missiles coming out of the Vengeful Spirit, because he always has to be on the back end of the fight, and she always has to have that swap ready. Invoker, Hani's Invoker picked up as well. Fnatic picking up some strong heroes, some strong picks that we've seen earlier on today as well. And even though I like every single one of them, well, actually, I just like them. There's no but right there. I mean, the combo wombo style for the Enigma Invoker is actually pretty big. as we have a Doom picked up by Na'Vi, and again, they pick up an Invoker into a Doom. And a Doom is, I mean, of course Doom is considered a counter towards everything, because he can shut down everyone with a Doom, obviously. But against Invoker, a bit extra strong, because Invoker, his thing is throwing out spells. That's what he does. Throwing out not just at one spell, no, he throws out so many spells. Like, that's his strength right there. You can set that strength back. We do have a Weaver removed from the pool. I think it's a smart ban. Right now, Fnatic, I mean, the one thing that does stop the swap, of course, is going to be Linken's. So even though Enigma is not really a hero that normally builds the Linken's for himself, with the new Linken's that you can put up on others, that's going to be something like, you're going to look for a hero that by default would build a Linken's to help out that Enigma. Weaver would be one of those. We still have, surprisingly, a Lifestealer in the pool. I was actually not expecting that to happen so late in this. So we do have Doom picked up, as in that's gonna probably be most likely be a hero for, actually saying that, Doom also is a Funnic hero, so Bristleback, we have actually I believe we've seen Dendi on the Bristleback before, but I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, a lot of Funnic heroes, not particularly any Havos hero apart from Vengeful Spirit or Dendi hero. So it's interesting to see what Na'Vi picks up. They don't have any bonus time left. It is going to be a Lifestealer, so we are going to see Bristleback most likely played by Dendi. And I mean, this could definitely be a... No, it's not going to be a Vos Vengeful. It's going to be a Vos Lifestealer, obviously. Well, that's a shame. Both teams, by the way, using most of their bonus time. They are so careful here this draft. I don't feel like either team has outdrafted each other, depending on what Fnatic of course picks up last, because perhaps they're gonna throw a curveball in the direction of Na'Vi and can make something happen with that. They have got 10 seconds left, so we'll see soon what they are aiming to go for.
Reserve time.
Boom. Pugna. Well, I mentioned Pugna, and I mean, I mentioned him in the right situation. He's great and all, but this is a very do it or die kind of lineup from Fnatic. I mean, of course, yeah, they have team fight, but they're gonna farm up the Pugna, and if a Pugna gets shut down early game, then that Pugna is not gonna do all that much in the game. And if you look at Na'Vi's lineup, they might not be having the brilliant lineup to go for an aggressive tri-lane, but they do have a lot of roaming potential with the Vengeful Spirit and the Enchantress, and that is gonna allow for a lot of ganks perhaps on the Pugna. Pugna does not have an escape. The only support that he has is a Visage, and look at the lack of disable that Fnatic has. I mean, yeah, they've got a Sprout, not really a disable though. They've got a Malefice, which is great, but Enigma is gonna need his time in the jungle to get up to scratch. Invoker has got a Cold Snap, which is great as well, but Invoker is gonna sit in the lane as well. But Visage and Pugna, the only thing they have is slows and the Decrepify, which is also basically a slow. So we'll see what they end up doing and how they end up laning things, as we do indeed have got some smokes picked up and sold and picked up again, because apparently Puppy only wanted one. So yeah, we are gonna see a bit of roaming coming out from them. It might be a bit obvious though. I mean, if you are gonna have yourself a Enchantress Vengeful Spirit combination, the obvious thing to do is to roam with those two. That's like the thing that they do. So it is going to be Fnatic that's going to be very careful, and that means their warding is going to be very important. Let's take a look who is placing them. No Tail, already having one here up the high ground, making sure he sees everybody that comes into the jungle via this path or via this path. So only one more lane that they have to be careful about, which is this one. So perhaps that's indeed going to be their last place for ward. We already see No Tail moving around there with his ward, so we'll find out where they're going to place things. Let's take a look at who is playing what, though I don't think anyone should be surprised by what is being played by who. We are going to see ourselves a Vos playing a Lifestealer. Very aggressive position from him right now. I'm going to assume that he's just here for the ward, and then he'll move towards the top lane where he'll take the farm. Kuroki will be supporting him. He also got a smoke in his inventory. Actually, that's the one that Puppy gave him. Kuroki will be the Vengeful Spirit. It will be Dendi playing the Doom. He'll be on the middle lane. Got pulled a couple of tangos, still went for a shield, so he's not that rich, not that fast of a bottle for him. Interesting mid lane, to be honest, with a Doom versus a Invoker. We have got ourselves Funnic playing the Bristleback and Puppy on the Enchantress, who is looking to perhaps go aggressive in the enemy jungle. He would walk through the ward of the Radiant, so they would find out where he is. Taking a look at the Radiant side, of course, that is Fnatic. We've got ourselves Era playing the Pug now. He'll be taking on a bit of a carry role with that one, trying to farm up as much and then start with the Death Ball, start pushing. That's going to be something that they have to be trying to look for. As we have No-Tail playing the Visage, he'll be trying to keep his carry safe. Already lays down the law here up against Funnick here with a bit of harassment. Talking about harassment, then he is going to get harassment a bit up on Navi, or up against Hani rather. Wow. Yeah, so Hani playing his signature Invoker. Now, he should be able to win this lane. He definitely should. Though, of course, Doom does have some extra safe farm with his Devour, so he shouldn't be getting that far behind. But Hani definitely has the upper hand here in this lane. Should be having the upper hand. In the jungle, we've got Fly playing his Enigma, as we have been seeing him play that earlier today as well. And he is just going to be keeping things to himself, farm as fast as he can, to be ready with pushing the moment that maybe Pugna has his mechanism or something like that, if that is going to be his first item indeed. Last but not least, it is Trixie with his Mushroom Nature's Prophet with a Scythe of Ice in his hand. His Nature's Prophet is going to be on the safe lane, or on the suicide lane rather. It's in the safe lane at least for Na'Vi. He won't be getting that much done, but perhaps he can disrupt a bit of the farm of the Lifestealer. That is all he needs to do. If he can make that happen, then he's doing a good job. Slow down Navi's game. That's going to be the game of the supports and of the offlane. Slow down Navi's game and make sure they can't do anything. In the meantime, Puppy, he has got himself a Centaur as well as a Wild Wing Ripper. There's still, by the way, one ward up on No-Tail, I believe. Yep. They've only still got that one ward placed, and actually the Sentry ward as well, just in case. But that means that Puppy can try to make things happen, but of course he doesn't know where the wards are. So far, he's just scouting things out. He's going to get a double damage wound. He doesn't only have one creep, so I'm not sure if he can actually try and take a kill upon Trixie there, but perhaps he's going to try. I mean, you know, why not try? You're an Enchantress after all. You can, of course, try to rotate. We do have Trixie moving back, but that's not because of him moving forward. That's just because of the creep wave. Let's see how much harassment he can get in. And that's exactly what it is, harassment. Kuroki is not going to get in range to get the stun off. In the meantime, it is Funny that might be in some trouble, getting slowed down. The Crypt Fight, in comes the blast. No-Tail still taking a lot of damage, though, from the Quill Spray, and will actually die with one more hit. Funnick will go down for that, but that's a worthy trade, because the first blood goes to the offlaner. Era still gets a kill, of course, gets a bit of gold for that, but doesn't get the first blood. And that is indeed worth noting. In the meantime, they are still chasing down Trixie, or at least having the push on. Trixie is playing it very safe, making sure he's never in range of that stun of Kuroki. That magic missile ain't got nothing on him but the open wounds. He did not care for that one. In comes the magic missile still, as well as the weave. The double damage wound might have worn off, but it doesn't stop Puppy from taking the last hit. That's going to be a second kill go on the way of Na'Vi. And it looks like they are having a brilliant start here. If they also take down this tier 1 tower, that means that they are out pushing the push lineup. In the meantime, in the middle lane, Nature's Prophet teleporting in. They want to take down Dendi. He did give himself a shield, but it's not helping him out, or is it? The bottle charges. One more hit needed. The trios in the right collect. Trixie will take it home. Trixie will get the kill. Very close to staying alive there, but Dendi still cannot make it happen. In the meantime, Enchantress still got killed off by the tower here on the top lane, making the score 3-2 in favor of Fnatic. It's not the end just yet, though. Nature's Prophet getting forced back into the range of the tower by Funnick, and actually goes down to tower as well. Why do people die from towers? Cold Snap. Funnick gets help by Dendi. In comes from the side, though. No-Tail on his Visage. Funnick looks to be making it out. Another teleport coming in. This is Puppy trying to help out. In the meantime, this will be an invis rune for No-Tail, and that should be him, well, I say kept safe. Funnick will still throw out the quills, and is not going to get that last one. Nice attempt, though, but does indeed do quite a bit of harassment to that Visage, and maybe even forcing him back. He does, of course, have those stick charges as well as the Tango, so I don't think he has to go. But he might just want to. He's actually going middle with that invis rune. Slowing down Dendi. I mean, that level death is quite, or Scorched Earth is quite high level. Level death is there as well. And actually with the level 6 multiplier, it's not going to do that much. The Cold Snap comes out. Dendi's going to try to run. We have got 4 heroes here. All prone on taking down that one Doom. Now they get it. They'll get it indeed. A lot of rotations used for that, though. And in the meantime, of course, Avos is still free farming on that top lane. It is Puppy who's going to get some more experience here in the jungle right now. I mean, of course, his rotations are kind of slowing down his leveling. He's still level 3. We can compare him to Fly, who's level 5. And that's a big difference right there. Era, in the meantime, level 6. He's also, of course, free farming. A little less free, I guess, than Avos, or at least it looks that way. As he is sitting on 25 to 9, with Avos sitting on 31 to 9. Funnick though, Funnick is doing a bit better than the Nature's Prophet is. Of course, Funnick also died once, but he did get that first blood. He's sitting at level 6 compared to Nature's Prophet level 5. So that is also a comparison we can make in this game. More smokes being bought, this time by Fly. I'm still expecting more rotations to come out from the teams, because rotations are going to be the one thing that... ganks rather, are going to be the one thing that they can do right now before starting the split or starting the push. I'm not necessarily saying split push, because it can just be a 5-man push. We are gonna have a rotation in with a smoke from Puppy and Kuroki. Want to help out Funnick. Want to take down Era. Oh, hello Era. Are you AFK?
Where are you going?
No. Well, he was buying stuff, I guess. He did buy things, which is great for him. Or it looks like he did. But he does die from it. In the meantime, Nature's Prophet ultimate takes down Doom in the mid lane, who also got ganked up. There was actually a black hole used for taking him down. This Doom is being shut down quite heavily, but it's okay, because Doom is still going to be useful with this spell. Once he hits level 6, he'll have his Doom, and he will still be useful despite the amount of farm that he has. Which is, by the way, I mean... it might be not that much farm, 22 to 7, but it's at least better than nothing. He's got boots, he's got a bottle. He is definitely not doing all too poorly. As we do have Air now back on this bottom lane as well. We'll be left alone for the moment as the supports have rotated. We have got Kuroki in the middle lane taking out some farm. Wants to be level 6 to get a swap up. We've got ourselves Puppy finding him a regen rune, which is actually quite handy for him, as he was quite low on mana. And Dandy has decided he doesn't want to be on the mid lane anymore, so he'll just continue farming in the jungle instead. Well, I don't blame him for that decision, because Hani is indeed doing very well. That's the one hero that we haven't really discussed all too much. 28 to 6, 29 to 6. Now we compare that to the Doom, which is 25 to 7 right now, and with jungle creeps coming out as well, of course. But that's actually not as good as you might have hoped. On the other side, he has been involved in 3 kills. All 3 on Dendy's Doom, of course. And he's taken 1 last hit for himself for that one. It looks like he is doing fairly fine, as he is just farming away. Going, of course, again for that Quas Extra build, as we have seen him do in the previous games as well. In the meantime, Kuroki's still getting that solo experience. There's a rotation coming in on the bottom lane. They want to try and take down Funnick. It comes to the Crep Final Blast. The Sunstrike. Boom! Funnick, you're dead. Soul Assumption is the one thing that will take him down. No Tail. With this actually his first kill of the game, which is kind of surprising. Considering No Tail normally has got a lot of more kills when he plays Visage. But no, just 1 kill so far. He has, of course, been involved in more kills, though. He's been involved in 4 out of the 6 kills, actually. And it looks like they want to try and take down the tower here as well. Era, sitting on 600 gold. Still not knowing if he is going to be the one to go for the mechanism for his team, or if he is going to leave it to someone else instead. There's not really any other real mechanism carrier apart from the Enigma who might be doing that. Fly could, of course, go for that, depending on how defensive he wants to be. Dandy just wants to eat that creep. Forged Spirits ain't got nothing on this Doom. And he's got, of course, a Scorched Earth maxed out, so he can regen very fast if he wants to. For now, he'll just eat his tangle. He's actually sitting on a haste rune, by the way, so if he finds the right opening, he can actually try to take down Hani here, if he gets the harassment going, which is, of course, pretty difficult to do. Especially since that Invoker is level 8, and I mean, that needs 2 more levels in level death to be able to make it worth it. We move a smoke up, by the way. Infested Puppy sitting right next to that. Here comes the Boast. Malefice comes out. Open wounds up on No Tail. There is no black hole available. Sunstrike will hit him. Puppy almost dies, but the heal will come out again. The Blast of Era is not going to be there. That ward is going to be taken down. Visage was taken down by the side of Na'Vi. While the Doom comes out on Era, Dandy says, I've had enough of this middle lane, I want to take kills as well, I want to be fighting and winning fights as well, and he gets it as well. It is Puppy with the last hit. Puppy, who was looking so close to that just a moment ago, but that level 2 Nature's Attendance was enough to keep him up. Well, that's going to be good for him. Nature's Prophet Ultimate still bouncing around, trying to slow down the push. But Na'Vi, they're here with 5, they're going to trade towers, they'll lose their tier 1 middle. And Nature's Prophet actually still gets the kill on the Bristleback. That's going to be a double hit for him on the ulti, on the Nature's Wrath. And that's not going to be something that he's happy about. Tier 1 towers traded. Fairly decent trade. Better trade for Fnatic in terms of towers than for Na'Vi, as of course the tier 1 mid has a lot larger strategical importance than the tier 1 bottom. Though it does make sure... Kuroki, careful there. He's going to throw out a stun, but he's not going to be able to do anything more because he dies. Bit too aggressive, teleport in. The rest of Na'Vi is still coming. The rest of Na'Vi is coming in from the side. Puppy with the heal, slowing down something, or... No, just Getting some creep on his side by the looks of it. Actually, a Forward Spirit. It's a very decent skill, decent creep to have. Tower still getting blasted. One more blast will do the job. In the meantime, the Nether Ward still there. Tower gets denied by Havo still. And Funnick is gonna just quill a bit to make sure that Fnatic is not thinking about going back in. In the end, it is a 2-for-1 trade in terms of towers, but with this tier 2 tower denied, that's something that Na'Vi is gonna be happy about. Denying that extra gold to Na'Vi, or to Fnatic, is gonna be very important because they've got this death claw lineup, and if they can be stopped with their gold flow can be stopped, well then their lineup can be stopped. Later on in this game, Na'Vi should be able to take it, so the time is ticking for Fnatic. Of course, it's not entirely hopeless for them later on in the game as they go for Funnick here, they're slowing them down. They have got the, he should be, actually, he should be living. The Hood is going to help him out as well. Soul Sub should come out for Puppey, doesn't kill him off though. Roshan attempted here by Na'Vi. As said, they've got some minus armor. If they only had the Nasal Goo, they've got the Weave of Terror as their only minus armor, and I think that Fnatic is aware that this is going on. Why else would Na'Vi be sitting in this mid lane so close together? Teleport top going out from the Havost. They have abandoned their Roshan attempt. It was too risky. And another denied tower of Vost. Second deny in the game. Very decent for him. By the way, having a lifestealer against a Pugna is very decent. Because of course Pugna has a big impact on a fight with his ward. But lifestealer is basically the ward killer. He'll just run to it with his rage on and he'll be getting there. In comes the smoked up Fnatic. They find Funnick. They cold snap him. Life drain him as well. But the swap pops puts him into safety still. Sprout up for Kuroki, but he'll be living to tell the tale. Denny actually coming in. He's got a Doom again, but he's got an empty bottle and they don't want to risk it. Would run into too many people and don't have a Vos to back them up. Another haste rune being placed on the bottom lane. Looks like we are going to see Fnatic make a race for it. Let's see who wins. And Denny, I think you should probably decide to back off. If you get the haste rune. Oh, the haste rune gets denied. I was going to say if he got the haste rune and he would have been able to get away from that one. But he doesn't get the haste rune and he will go down. Fnatic. No, I'm not sure if they have the lineup for this. Actually, they do. With the Force Spirits, yeah, they can get the minus armor up on... I should be able to get the minus armor up. Does it actually work on Roshan? No, it doesn't. Well, they've got the things to tank it anyway. That's decent enough. Quill's coming out. This is something that Na'Vi is aware of, but are they able to stop it in time is the question. It doesn't look like it. Especially not with a Vo still on the top lane. So this should be an Aegis going the way of Fnatic, who is so far not yet in favor of the gold. Are in favor of experience though, and actually in they come. Aegis taken by Invoker already. Funnick, he's gonna regret coming close by. Soul Assumption will still hit. Oh, nice swap! The swap of the Sunstrike. Kuroki will die for that one, but if he saves Funnick life with that, well, that's gonna be worth it for sure. Funnick looks to indeed make it out of it that alive. At least so far he is. Nature's Prophet though, teleporting in, sprouting up. Funnick is not over just yet. Fly does have a black hole ready for him. It's not going to be needed, or is it? No, it's not. He is going to be getting picked off. That's going to be a kill. In comes Denny, dooms up Fly, making sure there's not going to be a black hole. Impetuses will fly on Fly and will actually take him down. Denny not out of the woods just yet. He gets the Cripper fight, stunned up as well, taking a lot of damage here. Will be kept safe, I think, by that magic missile. A Sunstrike will actually miss. Denny turns around for a level death and gets himself a kill on the Pugna. With that, they will get the no-tail as well. The double kill goes to Puppey with the Impetus. Honey flying away. Trixie should be able to teleport himself out as well. And that's going to be the end of that one. I mean, they might have been able to take 3 kills on the side of Fnatic, but they weren't able to take the Aegis away. It's still going to be, of course, a favorable trade for Na'Vi, but this was a fight that they did lose after already losing, or they did win only after losing an Aegis. Wow, this is a game full of aggression, by the way. We're only 14 minutes into the game. We've already had 20 kills, and I notice on my voice that I've been talking non-stop, and that's because it's all been action across the map. Look at the difference in net worth, by the way. I mean, I'm taking a bit of a helicopter view of my screen, and then I see Havo sitting on almost 9k gold of net worth, compared to the secondary there, which is Trixie with his Hand of Midas still sitting on 6.5. And this is an Evos, also of course with the Hand of Midas, who's got drums, who's got an armlet, who's got phase. He is ready to fight despite having a Midas. He can definitely put himself into a fight and do very well in that as well. In the meantime, we do have a Vanguard up on the Doom. Very early game aggression item. They know what's coming from Fnatic and they know how to counter it. Vanguard, survivability, staying alive, Mechanism. That's going to be up by the Enchantress already. Mechanism on Enigma is up as well, of course, as that's the reason why Fnatic can be as aggressive as they have been. We do have the The Pugna not doing as well as I thought he would though. I mean, he was a safe lane Pugna, but his net worth is lower than that of Funnick, which is the off lane Bristleback. In the meantime, bottom lane, we'll have some trouble. Trixie, he can teleport himself out. In the meantime, the Doom comes out in another part of the fight. I'm gonna see if Trixie dies first. Yes, he does. In the meantime, the Doom has taken on a Visage, as in the Spell Doom. Fly himself, he has got a black hole. He might be able to try and throw it out, but he won't. It would be a waste. He knows it too. Midnight Pulse coming out, but it doesn't matter. That's gonna be another kill. In the meantime, Hani goes for Funnick, but he goes invisible. They do have detection. They've got one sentry ward, but that's not gonna be enough. Not going to be enough indeed. And they take the familiars instead, which is always worth it. 100 gold per creep. Definitely nice boost to the gold for Na'Vi. They are doing really well. They've just taken out two heroes of Fnatic that they definitely need to push. They definitely need them to fight as well. They might not have still taken that Aegis, but they are not getting outpushed. And that is the thing that Fnatic should be worried about, because they have got a lineup. Again, they've got this pushing lineup that is not hopeless later on in the game. Because we do have an Nature's Prophet that can split push. Enigma, I mean, if there is an Enigma, a Magnus, a Tidehunter, or those big teamfight ulti heroes, there's always going to be a chance, no matter how far behind you are. If you get yourself that 5-man black hole, and you have the one-more combo to back it up, which is indeed the case with that Invoker, then you always have a chance to get back into the game. So that goes for this game as well. Fnatic, they definitely have some late game potential, but if you compare that to a Lifestealer, to a Doom, to a Bristleback, well, you should be kind of worried. Because even, like, at some point, even if you get that perfect combination, the damage is not going to be enough to take everybody down again. It's just not. They would be too tanky. They're all fairly tanky heroes. We now also got a Vanguard for the Bristleback. The only one that's missing a Vanguard is a Vosto. I don't think he is going to go for that. He is going to go for Basher. We do have a tier 1 army, as in tier 1 Slayer army, going towards the tier 1 bottom. It's going to be a fairly easy pick up. Visage, actually. Visage familiar to take them. In the meantime, we do have two towers missing on the top lane. Jeez, all those T's. So Fnatic might be split pushed actually by a Vost, who's actually indeed trying to make that happen. We do have Na'Vi coming in though. They're ready to fight. They might not have a Vost, but they could at least take a decent fight here. Puppey will get silenced up. Will try to run for it. The Sunstrike will actually miss. Soul Assumption does not miss though. It flies, looking for that black hole, finds it up on Funnick, up and on Dandy. In comes a swap, but the swap is up on Dandy. We'll make sure that Kuroki is gonna have a bigger impact. Oh, never mind, he's dead. Nature's Prophet picked up as well though. It's 1 for 1 so far with the black hole used. That's gonna be Fnatic getting a lot less out of the fight that they thought. In still comes the cold snap up on Funnick, but he is gonna be able to run away from this one. Buy back from the Nature's Prophet. We do have a Vost now in the fight as well. Or actually, is he? No, he's just making his way bottom while walking. Yes, he is not teleporting. He pushed a bit in the bottom lane, realized, hey, my team might need me. Well, let's see what I can do. Okay, I'll help out. Cold snap up on Doom. They're trying to bait it out. They're trying to buy time for Vost to come in from behind, and they come. They go. Nature's Prophet will be the first one there, and he already just bought back. Looking for the next target. Looking for Hani. Hani eaten up as well. One more hit. The mechanism keeps him up for a little while longer. His Aegis gets dropped though. Infest out. Does some damage to No Tail. No Tail bashed and killed. Era will be next. Era will be dead. Vost, sorry, he's a killing machine. Fly will try to run away from this one. Looks like he might be able to. There is still an Invoker in that as well. They will see him though. They will have to get him before he runs out of range of the Sentry Ward. Another Sentry Ward gets dropped. Hani will get dropped as well. It is only one hero that is left alive. It is Fly's Enigma. What a fight that was. And that was just a Vost taking a stroll. He did get dropped very low from that. But oh my god, that fight. Fnatic, they are too pressured, too desperate to get a fight going their way. So desperate that they're gonna wait and see what Na'Vi does and give Na'Vi all the time in the world to prepare for the best fight ever, because they know the positioning of Fnatic, while Fnatic is not fully aware of where Na'Vi is, not fully aware of where Vost was, and that was just a bit too risky from them, too naive from them to think that Na'Vi wouldn't have a plan to take them down there on that bottom lane, and that fight is gonna put them back quite far. We see the net worth graph. Gold graph rather, not the net worth, but the gold graph is very far in favor of Na'Vi. We are only 20 minutes into this game. We're already 7k gold difference between the two teams in favor of Na'Vi, of course. And then we have the experience graph. Well, that looks a lot more grim than that gold graph. And that's, of course, because of the fight. Why is my mouse annoying? Cat hairs in the laser. Well, that happens sometimes. Got it fixed though. Got it fixed. There we go. O'Tail with the medallion. I mean, one thing that Fnatic is going to have to get next is Roshan, of course. Roshan is not up yet for a little while. So I guess that Fnatic was lucky that they still had an Aegis when that happened. But of course, it didn't really matter that much. But, oh, Era, you're so dead. Boom. The Crepify is only going to allow Dendy to hurt you more. This should be a tier 1 tower that without a Pugna to counter push this, it might be too risky. And of course, Na'Vi know that there's no black hole there either. This is too risky for Fnatic to do anything, so they are going to have to resort to split pushing right now. They are trying to split push on the top lane with Trixie being there as well. But Trixie, I mean, like I said, we're only 20 minutes into this game and he did go for an Midas, so he's not there yet. He's not having the items that he needs to split push, like a Desolator or a Shadowblade or Necronomicon. Like one of those items, any one of those would do. But he's only got a Force Staff, a very defensive item, or offensive if you want to get a Sprout in, but not really a solo item. Not really a solo item that you can get a lot of split push in with, apart from with your Treants, of course, and, you know, that's not enough. Well, he does get himself some damage to a tier 2 tower, and he doesn't die, so that's all good, but he doesn't die yet, I say, because Phonic and Havost have found him. And they are looking for it. They've got the face boots, a drum charge there as well, but he's trying to eat himself up there. Eats himself through. They won't be able to stop him though, unless there was a first hit bash, but there wasn't. So Havost can't get that kill going. Really wishing he had his Abyssal Blade right now, but he needs 200 gold more before he actually has that. Smoke up for Fnatic. They know something needs to change. They know something needs to be done, and they find themselves in the hands of Kuroki. Well, that's like great kill and all. You know, that's a nice pickup. It's a nice pickup because it's not a good pickup. They just used a 4-man smoke to find themselves one solo vengeful spirit. No, that's not enough. That's not enough, and they know it too. They have to find something else. They just used 5 heroes even to just only take down one creep camp, and yeah, that's not enough. In the meantime, Mavos is still farming, his Super Basher is there, his Abyssal Blade. Roshan is going to be up in about 20 seconds, so that's going to be something that Na'Vi is going to look towards, and it's going to also be something that Fnatic needs to stop. They don't have the luxury of getting this the way of letting this go the way of Na'Vi. I mean, obviously, they're going to try to take a tier 2 tower in return for it, but they should be aware. Yeah, there comes the familiars, they know now. They have only a tier 2 tower to teleport to if they want to try and take this, but it will be too late by that time. The Nasal Goo has already put Roshan at minus armor, so they know they're not going to get it anymore, so they're going to try to at least take a tier 2 tower off the back of this. It's an important tower, don't get me wrong. Of course, this tower allows for split push to happen for the tier 3 tower on the top lane. But if it's going to be enough to you know, warrant the Aegis go in the way of Na'Vi, I'm not so sure. Na'Vi so far has played reactive Dota. Of course, they've gone for a couple of smoke gangs, but they haven't really 5-manned and fought like they are attempting to now. And we're going to see how that pans out. The Doom up on Era. Mechanism will keep Era up. He's not going to die from that Doom. We do still have Phonic sitting in, or having a Life Sitter inside of him. Nature's Prophet will be allowing himself to TP out, and that's going to be also a TP for Fly, so no interrupt coming. TPs across the board. Looks like everybody makes it out alive, perhaps apart from No-Tail, but Dendy, if he really wants this, he's going to have to dive this. But yeah, he's not gonna. That's gonna be the first time that Na'Vi actually went 5-on-5 and tried to force out a fight. Well, and that first time did not pay out as well as it should. Well, I guess it was the best fight that Fnatic could hope for, if you can actually call that a fight. They made Na'Vi waste a bit of time on their Aegis, waste a bit of farming time, and they didn't lose their lives, which is good, because if they would have fought against Na'Vi, well, I don't think that would have ended very well. This gold graph is stagnating a bit. I mean, it's kind of dropping back in favor of Fnatic, but that's because of that tower that just went down, and because Na'Vi went for with 5 people to the same place and didn't really get that much. Experience graph still going the way of Na'Vi, though, that Roshan did give more experience than a tower would give. A tower, of course, does not give experience. That's the main difference right there. But it is still Na'Vi that is so much in favor for this game that Fnatic, they have to have their backup plan set in motion. Their backup plan would be split pushing. They can't even dream about just 5-manning up against Na'Vi. They will be able to push out the last outer tower, There are still 2 tier 2 towers standing on the side of Fnatic, while Na'Vi towers, all their outer towers are dead. They only have got their tier 3s and tier 4s. So Fnatic definitely, if they only win one fight, one big team fight, their pushing potential is really strong, and they can definitely take a tier 3 off the back of it if they want to. And maybe even more. So they just have to start building towards a split push and towards preparing the map for if that one fight is indeed there. Hello, Abyssal Blade by Era. Ooh, the Cripify infest out though. Vos, quick on the fingers, gets himself out in time. Nicely done. Good pickup. This Pugna on the carry role has not been working out as a Fnatic hoped it would. Looks like, well, you know, normally I'd say, you know, either you see only the ultimate orb and I'd say point booster, or you see only the, only the ultimate orb and I say Side of the Vice, and only the point booster I say Aghanims. I really hope this is not a Pugna Scotty. Because that is awkward. That would be awkward. We have almost got an AC up on Dendi. I mean, we're looking towards more of those late game items. The Shiva's Guard coming out for Funix soon, by the looks of it. We do have ourselves Kuroki, not really all that rich. Oh, there's the Shiva's Guard already. But Puppy should be quite rich. He's actually building towards an Aghanims himself. He's got the gem, he's got that mech. In the meantime, there is a gank going up on Dendi. He's silenced up. Looking to make it out live, but I don't think he can. H Prophet Ultimate will fly in as well and might actually take him down with one more tick. He runs for. Actually, he lives. Stick Charge is helping out. That Orb of Venom up on. Never mind. Yes, that's an Orb of Venom up on someone. Pugna still goes down on the life stealer. I mean, again, that was an Abyssal Blade, I would assume. Yep. Abyssal Blade used as well. The Orb of Venom up on the Nature's Prophet helped out there. That's the only reason they could kill him there, slowing him a bit down. In the meantime, a tier 2 tower will be picked up for that. I mean, they might have lost Dendi, but hey. You know, Dendi doesn't have that big of an impact this game. It's all about a Vos. The Vos is sitting on 18k net worth. Highest up on the side of Fnatic is 10k. Go figure. And I'm not lagging at all at the moment, so must be something wrong with Twitch. So blame them. See, not everybody has lag, so go, you know, harass Twitch, send a report if you have an issue with that. Because this is all smooth from my end. No frame drops, nothing of the sorts. A Vos, ooh, aggressive force staff, silence up as well, still goes for the Abyssal, but doesn't matter, he loses his Aegis, wow. Brilliant force staff coming out from Fnatic, and they get him in the Sprout as well after he gets back up. Kuroki though swaps himself in, looking to trade his life for that of Vos, and it looks like he'll not get his wish. Oh, actually the Orca Tick will still take him down indeed. In the meantime, Funnick is already up in the face of Fly. Fly is looking for that black hole. It finds Funnick and a Vos. Where's the rest of the team? Soul Assumption coming out as well. Funnick, he'll still get picked up as well by the looks of it. There we go. That's gonna be 3 dead, looking to be 4 dead, because Na'Vi Dendi goes down as well. Lanson Doom up on Era, but he should be able to make it back to base in time. Actually, yeah, gets force staffed by some friends. He's gonna be okay. Trixie with the 4 staffs. It's great. I am not dropping frames. Thank you. And if there's people that have no frames drop and no frame rate or FPS issues, whatever, then that means that it's on Twitch server. So go fix that somehow. And I don't have shadows on my game on purpose because indeed my computer is not that good. Though it's not an issue with my computer at the moment. Anyways. So far, that big fight that Fnatic just won, that is gonna be their blessing. They now have a better chance. Na'Vi, I do think they were kinda trigger happy after Havos just ran at them and they kinda got forced to fight like that. But they did get set back by that. Quite a bit actually. That was the first time that Lifestealer actually died. He's still sitting on 4.4k gold. So he's still very rich, don't get me wrong. But he is, like, yeah, he died for the first time and showed that he is indeed immortal and kind of that buys time for Fnatic to get their items up, to get their farm a bit more up. 5,100 gold sitting up on Fly. At this point in the game, buyback is going to be very important as well. So even if he can buy a BKB or a Lincoln straight away, you still have to be wary about it. You still have to make sure that you at least can still get your buyback. Oh, teleport's coming in. The silence, it's found up on Kuroki. He's gets chased down by Trixie, but he actually sprouts himself in to try and get himself away. He won't be able to though. Gets hexed up, gets killed off. Kuroki will still get picked off by Hani himself. Hani doesn't have a TP. His boots of travel are on cooldown. Can they find him? Can they stop him? Can he go invisible? Force staff forward. He looks to be able to run himself away with full Wex. No invis needed there, so a 1-for-1 trade is a favorable trade for Na'Vi, taking down the Nature's Prophet, taking away that split push potential, while losing a support Vengeful. But still, a trade. Hard now picked up by the Lifestealer as well. And yes, I'm having buyback status on because that is the most important stat right now. Both teams, they can both take fights and they would be both able to win them if they are the ones to initiate on the way that they want to. Looks like Bendy is going to be in some trouble. Silence up, running away from that, but the cold snap preventing him from. Deafening blast coming out as well. He might be able to live through this. The Scorched Earth is on. He's very fast. He's got face boots. If he tries to shoot that way, he would have had a Sunstrike. Oh, hello, No-Tail. Slowing him down. That should be enough. In comes a Doom and a level death. But it doesn't matter. No-Tail still will be able to help get that kill. That slow and alone helped Era get the last hit on that one. And that is Na'Vi constantly one by one picked up. And that is indeed Fnatic's way of dealing with this. Fnatic's way of still finding the pickups. We have a Scythe of Vice up on Fly. They need more Disable. They realize that. Need to stop that Bristleback from doing Bristleback things. And of course, one thing that is not being built on the side of Na'Vi is BKBs. Of course, there's a Lifestealer that has a building rage, which is great. But it's no BKB central, so that means that Scythe of Vices are gonna be ruling this game. Or we have got an Aghanims now up for the Visage, so that's a great item for him to have. Let's take a quick look at the other supports. I mean, we still have Vengeful Spirit, Kuroki still building towards a BKB. Looks like we're gonna see ourselves like the Enigma. I mean, we can't really say that he's a support, but that's a side of Vice, of course. Other than that, I mean, Pugna, we still don't know what he's gonna do with that. I really hope it's not gonna be a Skyly, because that would be awkward. Taking a look at Na'Vi, there's also Negatives ready up on Puppy, so he has got that extra impetus damage. And it's a very even game all of a sudden. 20-21, what looked to be going out of hand in favor of Na'Vi just a moment ago. Because of that one fight top, Na'Vi has been a bit extra careful right now. That means that this guy that will spawn here, the aka Roshan, will be having the biggest impact on the next fight. Because neither team wants to initiate a fight right now. Because, of course, if you are the ones to initiate, you are the one to have least control over your positioning. And you can't risk being surprised, basically. You need to know everything before going in. And that's just not possible at the moment. And because of it, it's not possible for either team. We see both teams playing fairly passive at the moment. But soon, they can't allow to be passive anymore. Because they need to get that Roshan. And even if they don't have the Roshan, they can't allow the other team to get the Roshan. Roshan is going to be up again in a couple of seconds, which is going to get scouted out by Fnatic first. Na'Vi, they don't have the vision there. They are actually roaming around into the Radiant jungle, all on the mid lane. With perhaps, I think that Na'Vi, if they want to get a fight going, if they want to end this and go high ground, they need to have one fight going, one pick off on something like a Nature's Prophet or an Evoker or an Enigma. I'm not even saying Pugna because he doesn't have that big of a deal in this game. So one of those three would be the ones that they need to have a pick up on. In the meantime, we do have Invoker sitting on a bottom lane. He's ready to continue to split push and then teleport himself back to base if need be. There's also Nature's Prophet split pushing top lane. So they're ready for this. They're ready for forcing Na'Vi back to base. And indeed, Funnick already back. We do still have everybody of Na'Vi sitting on the high ground. And because Funnick went back to base, they are kind of like... Oh. They're kind of thinking that more of Fnatic or more of Na'Vi have backed off Maybe they can take something here, though. Actually, Nature's Prophet thinking about TPing in at the middle of everybody. In comes Hani. Doomed up, killed off. Brilliant gank. It works out. In the meantime, Avo still putting that black hole, but the swap is there, of course. Avo's Abyssal's Era keeps himself up with that, but still will go down to the Enigma. It is gonna be a trade so far. A Lifestealer for a Invoker and a Visage. Enigma still on the run from Dandy, who's chasing him down. A level death could come out. Need be. Walking up the high ground, getting sprouted up. No level death, no magic missile, nothing of the sorts. That's gonna be Lifestealer dead for a while, but apparently not enough to force Na'Vi back. They have forced everybody of Fnatic back at least. There's no split push going on right now. And it looks like they want to try and go high ground while there's no Invoker. One of the bigger counter pushes, of course. There's still Blast coming out from the Pugna, but he has to put himself quite close by if he wants to try and make something happening. And they also know that there's no black hole coming out from Flying. Comes a swap into kill. That's going to be Era dead. Hex up for KuroKy though, but he might actually be able to live through it all. It looks like indeed he will. He is just fine. Fnatic, the birds coming out, double stuns coming out, triple stuns coming out, those birds! Soul assumption of a KuroKy, but he'll live. He's got another magic missile in 5. Puppy getting life drained, might actually go down to Era here, indeed he does. But in the meantime, Dandy is just bursting down those resummoned birds. That means that there's only one bird to play with for that Pugna. For the Visage. Tornado coming through. Dandy silenced up inside the Meteor, inside the Sprout. He'll go down. And that's going to be the rest of Na'Vi backing out. Funnick teleported back home. We have KuroKy still finding himself in the hands of Trixie. And he might actually get picked up here. You know he will. Tries to eat himself out. He will go down. There we go. That's going to be 4 dead on the side of Na'Vi. While in the side of Fnatic it was 3 dead in total, I believe. With an Invoker and a Pugna dead. Of course, they did use a couple of buybacks. Enchantress just bought back because they know they can't really afford to give away Roshan. Lifestealer is alive in this as well as Funnick. And they know there's no black hole just yet. So they're gonna try. Funnick comes in. He's got a Lifestealer inside of him and they're gonna just go in. Why not? Era, Abyssal, Era dead again. And that's gonna be a ward still plays, but it should be taken down. They're still chasing down Puppy. Getting a Sunstrike, dodging it. Still alive for the moment. That Untouchable is really helping him out, but he is silenced. In comes Funnick again. Goes for Trixie. Gets Yuled up. Havos back in this with the Force Staff on Havos. It is working out. Fly will get picked up. It will be a Roshan goal in the way of Na'Vi. These fights are insane. There is so much at stake for this game, and you can feel the tension. Hani for some split push, trying to go on the bottom lane, but realized it was futile. So he backed up. Roshan, Enchantress with an Aegis. Yeah, that is an Enchantress with an Aegis. Havos felt like he couldn't drop anything from his inventory. His Force Staff has been quite on point, by the way. Quite on point indeed. So yeah, this game is still, for now, in the hands of Na'Vi. I'd still put it in their hands. They're 10k gold ahead again. Last time they were at this point, they kind of threw things away by just going in one by one on the top lane. Oh, talking about going in one by one. Dandy is not on the wrong side of the map, but he is in the wrong hands. Hani and Trixie. It is a killing duo taking down the Doom. In the meantime, Avost and Funnick still pushing in, knowing that there's still a bit of a delay time. They first had a fortification. That's actually all they needed to do. Perhaps they can get a tower as well, but there is a black hole up, and it looks like they might be having some trouble. They take down the tier 3 tower, now try to get themselves out of this. Should be able to indeed, but now without a tier 3 tower, next time they start pushing, they can start pushing on those range racks that don't regen. Slow but steady is the pace that Na'Vi can take that one. If they want to go for slow push, yes, they can. And they're not done just yet. They've got KuroKy sitting behind. They're waiting for that black hole to happen. They're waiting for the swap to come out. The Invis rune on KuroKy is going to allow them to do that. In the meantime, we do have Trixie pushing on the bottom lane again, teleporting in there again. But in 20 seconds, there will be Dandy to can push that back again. It doesn't look like they want to wait for that, though. They back off on their own. Don't want to be forcing out too much, and the Invis rune on KuroKy did also end. We have got a heart picked up by Funnick, and let's take a deep breath and just check what kind of game we have here, as in items wise. But first a deep breath, that's kind of needed for me. Okay, sorry, there we go again. We have got ourselves, I mean, there is a Enigma that has got a Ghost Scepter, so that's brilliant, because if you're gonna get attacked by the Lifestealer, you can just get yourself out. However, it does make you take more damage from that magic missile, and I'm not too sure if he should be, like, yeah, well, I guess it's worth it. That Lifestealer is the most important thing that he is have to worry about. Taking a look at the Visage, we've got ourselves no more than what we saw in the previous fight. We also still don't have more items up on the Pugna, though he almost has enough gold to go for an Aghanims, if that is indeed what he wants to go for. We have got the Nature's Prophet now with the Desolator, and that's a Vos, hexed up, and ready to die. Gets blacked hole. They want to take him down. Where's the swap? Kuroki can't get there in time. Needs to have a Force Staff or a Blink Dagger to be able to do that one. In comes still a Sprout up on Puppy. Nature's Attendant's coming out as well. Throws out some immunity as Funnick comes in, gets tornadoed up. Wants to try and see if he can take down maybe at least Era. He's got himself the Crepify, Force Staffs himself to the Haggard. Oh my god, the Impetus did himself so much damage with that Force Staff, but the Fly will come out with the mechanism and we'll get him back up. In the meantime, everybody on Fnatic taking the route out with the Teleport Scroll. In the meantime, on the top lane, we've got the split push going on. Trixie doing the split push. It is a rat Dota for these teams because that is the way to play this game. That is the way to finish this game. That is the way to win this game. In the meantime, we do have Funnick already bashing on the Rex. No backdoor protection coming out here. They go for the melee Rex while Vos goes on the range Rex. They know that this one doesn't regen. They should be able to take down both actually. With the black one cooldown, Vos, of course, the only reason he's here is because he bought back, but they take Rex off the back of that, so that is definitely worth it. If Fnatic actually tries to find a fight off the back of this one and they lose it, they'll lose more than just one set of racks. So Na'Vi, they're trying to bait out some movement of Fnatic, but it doesn't look like they're gonna get it for now. And they back themselves off. They already had Dandy rotate back top to help counter push to make sure that there's not gonna be a tier 3 tower on their end dying. But for Na'Vi, losing Vos there wasn't a bad thing at all because all was used on him and he just bought back and helped in the fight, and he's still highest up on net worth. Still very rich with those boots of travel, with those drums. He is actually still able to, of course, switch his armlet around, as in just if he goes for a next item, Force Staff and armlet might be the ones that he wants to take down. Force Staff, actually, I kind of like it on this Lifestealer. It gets him out of the life drain. If he sees the black hole coming, he can Force Staff himself out, perhaps, if he's fast enough. I really do like it. It's working out, so I'm hoping he's not going to sell that as a first item if he does have himself another mountain of gold again. In the meantime, Trixie split pushing bottom lane. The next time that Fnatic is going to fight, they have to make sure that they have got all lanes in their favor. Middle lane as far in their favor as they safely can. Bottom lane, regardless, very much in their favor because that is the lane that they're going to find a split push on. Or top lane, so one of the two. One is the one that they're going to push in. And one is the one that they are going to try and split push in. And having the split push on middle, having the push on middle is not that ideal. I mean, they kind of also want to make sure that they can push fairly fast. And you are up against mega creeps. So I'm not sure how Fnatic is going to deal with that. And that is something that we don't see. That's kind of weird. Let's take a look at the clock. Aegis is about to be reclaimed in a minute's time. That is what that call is for. Aegis, of course, still on Puppy, who hasn't died just yet. And they have actually smoked up. They look for a fight. They look for Fnatic. Fnatic is very safe, though, apart from Era. They're all hiding in their base, all sitting there, apart from Trixie actually also, he's sitting in the trees. They know that everybody of Na'Vi is missing from the map, now they see them. Their ward scouts them out, so they will be able to take that down. Na'Vi, making it no secret that they are looking to take down a tier 3 tower here on the top lane, making it no secret that they want to waste at Aegis. Going down in 24 seconds, so they have to fight fast. Is Fnatic gonna oblige? Is the question. Funnick getting sprouted up, but he still can reach the tower, so he's not too worried about that. We'll be able to take the tower, back off afterwards. Pipe soaking up some of the damage being done with a soul assumption. And next up, it's gonna be the Rex. Maybe not just yet. Soul assumptions being thrown out. Just every spell that they can safely do. Nice ward up from the puck now. Very safe location, but it's paying off. Range Rex though, almost picked off already. Meteors will fall. Now they go. In they go. Trixie's gonna be going down here to Funnick. In goes a black hole still with 3, but it doesn't matter. The kill is there. It is gonna be Nature's Prophet there. Honey doomed up, trying to run away from Funnick. Will be able to do so, but the rest, it is gonna be a dead no-till Visage, a dead Fly, Enigma, and a dead Rex for sure. Enigma buys back though, but what can he do without a black hole? I don't think he can do all that much. They have to try though. The fortification is running out. They ping on Funnick. They want to try and take him down. Malefic's coming out, but it's coming out up and down. The Orchid there as well. Funnick still getting life drained, but he had cheese, so he's fine. He's healed up again. It will be Denny that wants to die though if he's not careful. He does back himself up to the back of the fight, as we do have a Force Staff of Vogue looking for a Fly. The Impetuses, the Malefices, they will still find him. Sorry, the Magic Missiles rather. The Urn Charge. There we go. That's a triple kill for Puppy right there. And that means that we are gonna see the base of Fnatic taken over by Na'Vi. The GGs come out. So Fnatic, they will be having 3 wins, 1 loss today, and they are now sitting on 3 losses in total on StarLadder. They are not yet out of the race to get to the top 4, but it will mean that if it comes to it, if Na'Vi doesn't lose any more games from this point onward, the head-to-head situation will be putting Na'Vi ahead of Fnatic. And that might just be the one thing that is important. We're gonna see if Na'Vi can keep themselves sitting on 3 losses though, because they are gonna be having themselves a game up against SSD, which is gonna be a game that decides which one of those 2 teams will be actually drop down to 4 losses. And that is gonna be a very important match as well. So more important Dota coming up. Stick around for more action of StarLadder Star Series. It is day 22 of Season 8, and we are reaching that peak point where we will find out who is gonna go to Kiev to compete in the $120,000 prize pool. Let's take a short break, and we'll be right back here with the next game.